Well, good evening, friends. Actually, late good afternoon. Here in Atlanta, it's almost 4 in the afternoon. Yesterday's video kind of inspired me to continue talk how to prevent um, some of the stuff done to you, and it's in relation of um, some kind of valuables that you have, either family valuables or stuff that you collected. And I want to take today about cash, and I will talk later. Maybe I'll have to do a third video about it, but I will continue to talk about things called family uh, valuables as artifacts of some kind. You see, a lot of countries have, uh, kind of a custom that if you have a specific family, and there's always some stuff that's related to this family done in items. Like you have specific, for instance, if you're Christian, for instance, in countries like Christian Orthodox, there's icons of, of specific saints that are passing from one generation to another. Or in some areas, for instance, there's jewelry that passes from son from a man line, for instance, from like a grandfather to grandson and to generation, and in order to preserve family history, and not just preserve family history, but to belong through an item or an artifact to this family. So um, it can be everything. It can be rings. It can be crosses, as I said. It can be some kind of stuff that you go through and keep it all your life. And very seldom you sell it because it's kind of a family relic, but sometimes you do sell them after all because you need money. Okay. So what happens when you're gun stocked? Those items become a very valuable target. And to understand this, I will play out several situations, and not just play out several situations, but you have to go through history and see. Um, do you know what um, Ring of the Fisherman is? Of course, if you're Catholic, say I'm not Catholic, but what I'm saying is I know what it is. Every pope has their own ring, and it comes from a long time ago. The In order pope to stamp and sign religious documents, he needed a ring that all he did, he just simply stamp it on the document. And it was unique. Every ring was unique, and this way you always can say that this artifact, in a way, belonged to the Pope only, a specific Pope, because every single one of the popes, when they die, the Vatican secretary takes this ring and break it on purpose. Nobody can use it after that, and that it doesn't become a kind of a possession of museums. No, it's being destroyed. So this very often in big families, what they were doing is, for instance, man's line, for instance, Georgia kings or Russian kings or emperors, right, tsars, where they had this specific uh, stuff done only for them long time ago, and then passed through generations. And uh, in this case, it wasn't just for one, generation, like the pope dies and then break the ring. No, no, no. After a patriarch of the family dies, he passes the stuff to younger people. Okay, and just the presence of this artifacts makes those people, in a way, a proof or at least partial proof of connection to the certain families. That's why the family bloodline, in a way, keeps some people, you know, within their, within their line. And this way, when people are gang stalked, and at the time it wasn't gang stalking, it was revolutions and stuff like this, or just harassment anyway. Gang stalkers become and organize these hunting parties for passes for just in order to get this artifact. Because first, they deprive the person of proving of their identity, and the second, there is a lot of stuff people can do with it as presenting themselves as a part of the family, or in a way, kind of become imposters. And plus, those type of artifacts very often are really expensive because they went through generations, and the older the artifacts are, the better they are in price. So this is first. Remember, we'll talk about Japanese internment camps. And there was a lot of Japanese people when Imperial Japan attacked the Pearl Harbor and so on and so on. Um, when Japanese went into internment camps, one of the first things military did is removing personal items of jewelry and things like this in order to practically confiscate them. And there was very well excused used. Oh, we are worried about that somebody else in the camp will attack you, try to rob you. But actually, what happens is when a person surrenders this type of stuff, they deprive this person of their identity. So this is one of those things, and this is what I wanted to keep you in mind when I'm talking about if you have something of family artifacts on your hand, what important can be for you. So, what do we do? I will suggest you the following. Like in the previous video, I would like to catalog this thing, take picture of them, and so on. Send them for research if you have a possibility. If you have something kind of artifact that comes from your family. So, then you have another thing. You have your grandfather's ring, that's possible to have, or you can have your grandmother's or grandmother's wedding ring because your grandmother passed it to you, but actually it was in your family for generations and so on. So you have to do research as well. It's going to be really good for you initially as a ancestry research and stuff like this, but it creates not just good feelings and comfort when you know what you're dealing with, and at the same time you preserve your own history of your family in a way. Okay, but as I said, if you are gang stalked, you will be targeted as a person, and your valuable will be first target. And those type of family artifacts are valuable for gang stalkers for many different reasons. All right. So, as I said, you do the same thing. You catalog, you take pictures, you insure, you do research, history research to something on your own, or if you have enough financial resources to do through museums and stuff like this. Okay. This way, you have your um, family artifacts um, otherwise stored all the time in front of others. And if someone try to do some kind of a crime and present you or someone in your family as a thief or this type of stuff, you'll have more proof just because you see it. I'm doing research on this thing for years, and somebody stole something yesterday, and you come to me and say, "Yo, this is not yours, so get the hell out." You know what I mean? This is what has to be done. Unfortunately, it's always should be an ongoing thing because the moment it kind of slows down and disappears in silence, gang stalkers can jump again because old records can be always mm, destroyed. There's a thing on the internet. It's actually a program that can erase you. It's called. It was a thing in Denmark a few years ago. A judicial agreement that there's a people have a right to be forgotten, and so there was a what they were doing. They were just simply erasing. There was a computer program that erases everything you have and everything you put on the internet. That's why you have to have stuff that not just on the internet, be separate. You have to go to insurance agencies and so on, and keep it. You see, if you are a target individual, there's no relaxed time for you, and doesn't matter what kind of your ancestry is. If you're a worker or you were a nobleman of some kind, doesn't matter. You're always going to be. If you are target individuals, they will not let you go away so easy. That's why you have to be kind of all the time. And those type of stuff, preserving your family history, will actually help you. And so this is it for this I call family, you know, stuff. I already talked non-stop from 11 minutes, 11 almost 12 minutes. So we pushed it, and I will be doing in a few hours stuff for cash, and I hope you know you like it. As I said, this is it for artifacts and valuable items. I guess I will have to talk to cash next and talk about a little bit Cold War history, which kind of going to be funny because it's related to cash. Okay. Um, See you in a few. Maybe I will post that one early in the morning tomorrow, and you have a good evening for tonight.